Hello everyone, my name is Marco and this is my presentation Heritage Language and Ethnic Identity. Heritage language affects immigrant youth who live in bilingual worlds. What it's like to be who they are. How being different affects their sense of identity. It has been debated that the linguistic situation of bilingual students is more complex than that of monolingual English speaker students. Constructions of identity. Identity is multifaceted and complex since identity is based on several factors such as education, values, community influences, beliefs, and so on. The behavior of individuals is related to their sense of identity. People categorize themselves into groups, then identify themselves within a certain group. For immigrant youth, their social identity becomes ethnic identity since they categorize themselves based on their ethnic group. For minorities, social identity has more impact on individual identity. Individual identity, on the other hand, is thought to form in a predictable manner as one develops psychological and chronological maturity. Ethnic identity and heritage language. Many studies have identified a positive relationship between ethnic identity and the degree of heritage language fluency. Other research that investigated the impact of weakened heritage language schools on ethnic identity is highly informative on close links between the two factors. While recognizing that identity is complex and contradictory sometimes, it might be concluded that the ability to speak the heritage language can help minorities develop a better sense of who they are as ethnic individuals in general. What is not certain is whether heritage language proficiency is enough to ensure positive ethnic identity formation for young people of all ethnic backgrounds. Identity conflict. It might be conflictive for those who do not establish a positive identity. It is really important for bilingual and bicultural children to have a supportive social environment whilst developing identity. They face differences in values and expectations from two different cultures. Those who favor the dominant culture do not develop a strong ethnic identity since their desire for acceptance and belonging can create confusion for bilingual adolescents. A group of undergraduate Korean Americans were interviewed to elicit their perception, thoughts, and experiences along two threads, one related to identity and the other to heritage language. Findings. The results reveal how complex is the identity phenomena for heritage language speakers. It was identified that dual identity is not necessarily a voluntary choice. Participants may call themselves Korean American because they are aware of their physical appearances, despite the fact that they might want to be seen as American. The study also found that heritage language proficiency cannot be linked to a strong ethnic identity. Negative stereotypes also play an important role on identity conflict for heritage language speakers. Chosen or given identity. While some of the participants might feel connected to the roots as they get involved more and more with their heritage language, others didn't feel any connection even though their level was highly proficient and think of their heritage language just as another language they are learning or talk, such as Spanish, and didn't want to be identified as Korean, but simply as Americans. Others were proud but felt embarrassed if they were seen hanging out only with Korean people and felt comfortable when they were surrounded mostly by white people. One important finding of this study is that developing one's ethnic identity is not only the decision of the individuals. Korean American and other ethnic groups are aware that public imposes an identity on them. Through the acceptance of public identity based on their physical features, some heritage language speakers embrace the cultural part of their ethnic identity, but they have the private desire to be identified as American.